Text. We only talk when we wanna have sex. And I call and I text. We only talk when we wanna have. Cause I call and I text. We only talk when we wanna have sex. And I call and I text. We only talk when we wanna have sex. Cause I call and I text. We only talk when we wanna have sex. And I call and I text. We only talk when we wanna have sex. We do that nasty thing we do. Then we move on to something new. Then I call and I text. We only talk when we wanna have sex.
So if you haven't already got your tickets, Doctor and the Medics are actually doing a live stream this evening. We're going to put the link kind of here now. So if you want to check out that, you can actually go and buy a ticket to watch them play. And they're going to do a live stream for us. So during the week, Matt caught up with my band, the Dirty Smooth, without me there. So I'm hoping they didn't absolutely rip me to shreds while I wasn't there.
Well, considering considering A, you were doing the editing, and B, like we were drinking anyway, and it was more of a social. Like we had a much better time.
You're giving away secrets here. So.
You're such a control freak. Yes, I know. All right, so we are delighted to have the Dirty Smooth. In fact, we have Steve and we have Gav from the Dirty Smooth. Hey guys, quick welcome.
Hey mate, how are you?
Awesome. Welcome to Minety Virtual Festival. So one of the preliminary requests was to ask the question if Dirty Smooth was a drink. what would be a dirty smooth. So, Steve, can you show me and describe your dirty smooth, please?
Well, I've gone for the weaker drink tonight, but I would definitely dirty smooth. It would have to be some sort of cocktail, I think. So I'm gonna go for a mojito. I think.
Nice.
I reckon it's got a bit of sugar in there, a bit of rum, and a bit of mint, just for sort of the freshness of the band. That's what I think, anyway.
Like it. Gav?
Well, I've got a whiskey here, which I do like because I don't like to drink a lot of lager. I can avoid it. It's better for you, I think. But that's what I tell myself anyway. But I think the dirty smooth drink we talked about before, having dirty smoothies. So it'd be something fruity, I think. Something, pineapple, orange juice, vodka, kind of a sort of Sex on the Beach vibe, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, it describes a lot, Gav.
Maybe a porn star martini will make it pink.
All right, so I poured myself a West Country Wiltshire Dirty Smooth, which is basically a Smirnoff shot with a Thatcher's. So gone in the middle here. So awesome. So cheers all. Welcome to the virtual festival. All right, welcome aboard. Okay. All right, Steve. So let's kick off. So what got you guys into music then?
Oh, as a kid, I've got to thank my dad, really. He had loads of records, like old rock records, and I'd be fascinated by the covers and that sort of thing, and just the sound. So mainly my dad, really, from the music side of things, that got me into band music, and then from wanting to be in a band, it was more just singing at school and that, and people sort of saying, oh, maybe you should sort of do something with that. But it wasn't until sort of my early 20s, mid-20s, that I started to actually do something and sort of meet sort of like-minded people that sort of wanted to get together and write songs and perform.
So walk me through the band and all the members that you've got, because obviously some of the band aren't with us at the moment.
So we've got Rich Swatton on drums, who anyone who has anything to do with Minety and Minety Festival will definitely know Rich. We've got the Italian Stallion on bass, which is Leo Polverente. And there's obviously myself and Gav.
So Gav, swiftly across. So what would you describe your music to be? How would you your style that you've got?
It's evolved actually quite a lot, I think, since I've been in the band. So I joined the band 6 years ago, and at the time I think it was pretty much traditional kind of a rock band, guitar-based rock. Actually, it's fair to say you guys were a little bit more acoustic rock before I joined, so I put the kibosh on that and turned up with an amplifier. But yeah, it was very much a traditional sort of rock vibe. But I think it's evolved and deliberately over the last 3 or 4 years, perhaps, to be much sort of funkier, dancier set. Certainly, the material we try to write of our own is in that vein, and we want to get people moving. We don't want it to be too much thrashy guitar. We like to have a bit of a funky vibe to it. So that's what we're looking for at the moment, is kind of a funky dance, sort of contemporary pop rock mixture.
Cool. And we'll be listening a little bit to Seed to the Spark a little bit later, and I'll ask you to sort of intro to that. But do you think, and there are a lot of stories and rumours about the Dirty Smooth, and a lot of the flavour of the music comes from a lot of the singing that you do in the shower, supposedly, Gav. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
We can talk about singing in the shower, yeah, but it's actually not me that sings in the shower. It's Steve. And I used to live next door to Steve when Steve was maybe, 16, something like that. And I just moved into my first sort of proper house with my then girlfriend, now wife, in Easton Grey. And it was a semi-detached property. And on the other side, Steve lived with his mum. And every now and again I could hear this singing voice coming through the pipework, I'm not joking. This is God's honest truth. And he was singing Backstreet Boys, and Backstreet's back, and I'll never forget it. And I don't ever let Steve forget it either, because it gets, we bring that up a few times a night.
Brilliant. All right, Steve. Well, I mean, I painted a little bit of a picture, doesn't it? So talking of that and talking to the theme and the style, talk to me a little bit about Seed to the Spark, and talk to us about a little bit about the story of putting that together and how you wrote it and getting it out there. Is there there must be a bit of a backstory about that. I don't know, Steve, if you want to jump in as kind of a lead vocalist on the back of that. Talk to us a little bit about this, and then if you could introduce it to us.
Yeah, no problem. Well, when we write songs together as a band, it's quite a big sort of melting pot that we all we kind of stick our ideas in together, and you add bits and you chop bits out. But for quite a while there was sort of this. We had this instrumental line, and we had like the vocal hook. So we had it for quite a while, but we just kind of didn't do anything with it, and we sort of kept coming back to it, and we don't know. And then we suddenly sort of got it all together, and then I think as soon as we got the song together, we felt that this is good. We're on the right track. So as a band, we're really pleased with it. We've got my cousin to sing backing vocals on it, which gives it a really nice lift. So as a band, we're really pleased with it. And Rich, very clever. When we recorded it at a studio, he did a lot of video recording, so he managed to piece together like a video of it, which was awesome, really, what he came up with in the end.
So do the intro.
So this is it. Seed to the Spark by the Dirty Smooth.
Hello, are you lost in the dark? I don't know if there's a seed to this spark. I can feel a ghost around me, warning for the lonely. I've never really had a plan. I don't wanna leave your body, hard to say I'm sorry. Together we can make a stand. Whoa, well the night is over, there's always something that I miss. Show me where the right one is. Hello, are you feeling the pain? I don't know if the heat has a flame. I can feel you all around me, magic that we don't see. So frightened to be who we are. We could cast off for tomorrow, swim into your sorrow, anchored in the fold of stars. Whoa, well the night is over, there's always something that I miss. Whoa, well the world's not over, show dark. I don't know if there's a sea to this bar. When the night is over, there's always something that I miss. Well, the world's not over. Show me where the right one, show me where the right one is. When the night is over, there's always something that I miss. Well, the world's not over. Show me where the right one, show me where the right one is.
All right, guys, awesome. Loved it, loved it. See to the spark. All right, so obviously you're taking this to a couple of other venues. So talk to us about some of the venues that you've played. What are your favourite, what are your least favourite, and maybe a little bit around, who would be in your ultimate festival. So Steve, I'll do Steve and Gav on that one. So Steve, you fire off, and then we'll pass over to Gav on that.
Okay, so we had, our schedule this year was so great with some of the big festivals that we had lined up. But we've done the smaller venues. We've done small venues in Swindon, Cirencester, a lot round the southwest. But in terms of venues, I don't want to name drop any venues which aren't the best. But I think for us, it's always down to the sound, especially as a singer when you can't really hear anything. But I think for us as a band, we love the festivals, to play the festivals, to have a bit of a crowd, play some of our original stuff and then add some of our originals as well. I think that's where, as a band, sort of we come alive, is definitely more of a festival vibe.
Awesome. So who would be your ultimate festival lineup then?
Oh, Gav, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about this, right? And we picked a Saturday and a Sunday lineup, right, Steve? So let me just bring it up, otherwise I'll give you the wrong information. So actually, we've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is for a 3-day event, right? So let's imagine Minety has a £20 million budget. Money no option, right?
Surely Fields Association could dip into their pockets and pull that out.
Exactly. So we've gone for the Friday night. We've gone for an all-female lineup, contemporary lineup for the Friday night. So we got Maggie Rogers. Don't know if you've heard any of her stuff. She's great. Sigrid, Dua Lipa, whose album is really good, by the way. Check out Future Nostalgia. I was really surprised. Not really my vibe typically, but it really grabbed me this year. Lizzo and Taylor Swift to headline with a cameo from Katy Perry. I don't actually think they get on very well, so that could be quite interesting. So that's the Friday. Steve, do you want to do the Saturday?
Yeah, so the Saturday, we had to be self-indulgent, I think. We had to include ourselves in that. Mainly, I think, just to be able to meet some of the bands who are playing after us. But so we've gone the Dirty Smooth to kick the Saturday night off. We've got a band called the Rival Sons, who me and Gav really like. We've seen them live a couple of times. Anybody into sort of hard rock bands with a great vocalist would really enjoy them. We've gone Guns N' Roses, another band that me and Gav, have a shared interest in. We've gone for the Foo Fighters next. And then to headline, we've gone for the good old Rolling Stones.
Awesome. So you've obviously got a few bands in there that you were playing. So out of those, which ones do you really admire, or are there any that outside of that you really admire and you kind of lean towards in the style of music that you play to? So what-
Stylistically, it's a weird one because obviously I love the Stones. I like a lot of old blues music. I love Mr. Hendrix here over my right shoulder. But I think stylistically, we're completely different to all of that. We try to be a little bit of a good time sort of funky band, so a bit more of a party set than perhaps a rock set. But if I had to pick one to play with, it would be the Stones all day long. I think they're the greatest rock and roll band in history. So that'd be my pick.
Steve, which one's you?
Ooh, it's a tough one because I love all the bands we said, but I think Guns N' Roses holds something quite special for me, just because Axl Rose is a vocalist. If you watch some of his older YouTube clips, it's just insane how someone can sing at that level, and how he can still talk as well, I think. And Slash is a favourite guitar player of mine. So for those, I think, yeah, to meet them as well would be awesome.
Well, we'll see if we can put in the request for maybe Minety Music Festival 2030.
Nice.
Once we start building up,
Yeah.
we'll organise all that. So listen, we're going to round off a little bit to this interview, and then we're going to hit some quick fire questions as we do with all our interviews. So I think everybody who's listening in on this, what next? Where can we see you, or where can we hear you, or what are you doing? What's next on the journey of the Dirty Smooth?
Up to you, mate.
So yeah, we're nearly finished working on an album. So that was our primary focus on the run into the festival season this year, and obviously with the season's been cut short, so we're busy mixing tracks for the album. So we've got a little bit more work to do, but you should see some more new music over the next month or so. I don't know how we're going to drop those, whether we drop a track every couple of months or whether we hang on and drop something more substantial. I don't know how it's going to work out, but that's what we're doing. We're busy mixing.
Okay, watch this space, and obviously through the website or anywhere. How can they find out about what you're doing?
Yeah, we'll be talking about that on all the social media channels. If you follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Dirty Smooth. We're on Instagram, we're on Spotify, iTunes, etc. So that's where you'll be able to stream the album when it's released. But if you follow us at all in any capacity, you'd be hard pushed to avoid any notifications around the time of release.
Awesome. Watch this space. Amazing. All right. Okay, so roll your shoulders back a little bit. I've got a couple of questions I'm going to fire over to you. I'll tell you what, as I've got you on my screen right now, Gav, I'm gonna fire the first one over to you, okay. And then on the second one I'll go to Steve. All right, and then I'm just gonna knock out a couple, and then feel free to chime in and answer however you want. Okay, so Gav, you're first up. You're in the ring. Two bands are against each other, Blur or Oasis. Who wins the fight?
Oasis, even though I hate Liam Gallagher with a passion.
Oasis.
Yeah, Oasis.
Oasis will win. All right, okay. Steve, all right, same principle. Two lineups. Mick Jagger in one corner with Keith Richards in the other. They go for a bell rings. Who wins the fight?
Oh, good shout. If you know your Stones history, Mick Jagger's already been sparked out by Charlie Watts, the drummer. So I know Mick he's got the moves for a bit of ducking and diving, I think. But I reckon it's just going to be one shot from Keith and Jagger's down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, okay. Go first the shot. Craziest festival experience?
It was you, Steve, wasn't it? You and Leo helping a certain headliner back to her car after she'd had too much to drink, possibly.
Oh yes. When Republica played, so when they played, me and Leo managed to wangle our way backstage, as we always do, and I think everyone was worse for wear, but me and Leo decided that we would become security guards and see her to the car. even though the whole place was completely empty and everyone had gone home, me and Leo thought we'd do the right thing and make sure she got to the car okay.
Awesome. Well, I got a lot of stories on the Republica or the Minety Music Festival myself. Anyway, so best gig that you've ever done?
Ooh.
We will put Minety Music Festival just to the side on this one, so we'll look at any other and why.
I think for me it might have been Lakefest last year. We played the BBC Introducing Stage at about 7 p.m. I think it was on a Saturday night, which was a really great slot. We had a packed tent. It was raining, which is always good at a festival if you want to bring people in to the tent, which worked in our favour. I thought I was going to puke before I went on stage, not through nerves. I think I'd eaten something funny earlier in the day, and I walked on the stage trying to look for somewhere to be sick in case I had to in mid flow. But we managed to make it through. But it's actually a really good set. We've had a listen back recently to some of the live recordings from it, and it was good. And it was just a nice vibe. Everyone was hanging out in the tent. I think we had about 200 people in there, in out of the rain, which in a busy packed tent like that, it gives you a really great atmosphere. So that was good. That's one of my highlights, I think.
Awesome. Maybe one for Steve. Who would you like to most collaborate with?
Ooh, that's a good question. God, there's so many.
Neon Mirrors.
Yeah, Neon Mirrors. Charlie from Neon Mirrors would be wonderful to collaborate with. That boy's got some talent. Off the top of my head, randomly, probably, even though Freddie's not with us, Queen. Because if Freddie was there, let's say Freddie's still around, I would just be amazed at what they would come up with me being involved. With all the vocal harmonies. I like all the Backstreet Boys, obviously.
Brilliant. There you go. And last one, your biggest band career highlights since you've been going, and that's for both of you. What's been your absolute highlight since you've been together?
So for me, it's all the stuff. Obviously, we love playing live. All the festivals, they tend to be 2 or 3 day weekends. We tend to camp out, and they're great fun just to be around. And obviously, the sets we play at those festivals vary. But what's always consistent is the banter we have, across the course of the weekend. And I can remember a couple of really funny weekends, very vividly, with events that will remain nameless. Actually, they're not too family friendly, but good fun and a lot of banter. That's probably my highlight.
Awesome. And Steve, finish off with yourself.
What Gav just said, is a band. That's one of the things. We meet so many like weird and wonderful people, like being in a band together and all the festivals we get to play. But the one thing that always stands out for me, which doesn't happen often, but you might get a glimpse of people singing your own songs, and when they don't know the words, they're making it up, which is great. But as a band that writes your own stuff, to get recognition for that, because I know myself, you want to hear covers, and if you're at a festival, and songs that but when you work hard at your own music and you get a reaction to that, I think that's one of the best feelings in being in a band. Is there's some deep meanings in your lyrics, and you've worked hard on sort of the music side of things. So to get that reaction from the crowd, I think for me is one of the best things possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, listen, Gav, Steve, thank you so much for coming and attending the Minety Music Virtual Festival 2020. We thoroughly look forward to seeing you back for Minety Music Festival 2021. We look forward to the album that's coming up. Watch the social media links for everything that's coming out with that. And with that, I thank you. Have a really safe and wonderful remainder of the summer until next year. Thank you, guys. You've been absolutely awesome. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Matt.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Steve, Gav, absolutely brilliant. Thank you for all your input, and even some of the bands that I didn't actually think that you would call up as bands that you admired. But hey, you know, absolutely fantastic. So listen, again, one great job on the Minety Music Facebook page is the polls that you've been putting together. So there's a stack of polls, if I'm right in thinking, and anybody who logs on to the Facebook page can cast their vote on one of the polls, and we're super interested to hear, like as a festival, because you want to grow and expand and make the festival better than the one the year before. So I think some of them, if I got this right, who would you like to see next year? There's a group that's on there. There's the tribute bands as well. Who would you like to see as a tribute band? Who else have we got?
We want you to get involved in the top 5 fantasy league bands. So if you had an unlimited budget at your festival, we want to know who you'd have in your lineup. So get involved in that, just for fun, really. So Matt, do you like rockabilly?
Love it.
Do you like 60s jukeboxes?
Can't get me away.
Do you like Happy Days? Everyone loves the
Love
Fonz.
it. The Fonz. Yes. Bring it on. Tell me.
So this next song is Freak Show by The Strays.
This next video is our latest single, and it's called Freak Show.
Hey guys, this is Stella Sonic
I'm Sam.
I'm Chris. It's Gaz
from
Strays.
Strays. My fantasy festival band would have to be No Doubt.
My fantasy festival booking would be Green Day.
My fantasy festival booking would be Victor Wooten.
My fantasy festival band would have to be Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
We are really missing the festivals right now, and we are missing you guys at Minety, but we hope to see you all next year where we're going to have a proper party!
Party! Party time!
Party!
Party time!
Matt, one of the things I want to talk about briefly is the volunteers. Obviously, we've briefly spoken about the volunteers that kind of make Minety Music Festival happen, because we couldn't do it without you, basically. However, we have spaces. If you want to get involved next year, then send us a message on Facebook or something like that through the Minety Music Festival Facebook thing. Get on your keyboard. If you want to get involved, earn yourself a free ticket.
100%. And I can't speak for anybody else, but the team backstage and those that are on stage supporting myself and all the other compares, whether or not I lead it next year or not, I don't know, but certainly Krista, Simon Smoger, Richard Groom, Richard, and everybody else that's around us. Phenomenal job, such fun, such a family, such a good party, and if you do want to compare, we will be assessing joke performance.
So Matt, are you kind of advertising your own job here? Are you?
Yes.
Mate, you can't get out of it that easily. That's a cop out. You're not. That's not happening.
I love it. But,
I love the way you're trying to pass the baton on to the next generation.
I'm moving on to management.
I'll tell you what, we have a deal for you. We're going to give you a 40% pay rise to stay in your current position for 2021.
This was that, going from zero salary to zero salary. Brilliant. I'm in.
So last week I chatted to Greg from Dread Zone. They've built up an incredible reputation over the past 20 years of being one of the top live performing bands across the UK. We've got a fantastic treat lined up for you next year if you haven't seen them. So here's how the interview went.
You and the land are one.
Britain today is a powerhouse. Ideas, experiment, imagination.
So we welcome to the show now Greg from Dread Zone. How you doing, mate? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks for having me here in West London. Hot day and just chilling in the flat and in isolation. Been in isolation for 3 months.
Blimey.
Okay, cool. Well, it's a lovely day for it.
I'm
day to be sitting indoors.
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, I'm sitting in my conservatory and absolutely cooking. So if I
Well, at least you've got a drum kit there.
Yeah, it's my little man caves.
Is that electronic?
Yeah, it's V drums TD20.
Yeah, I was going to get one at the turn of the year. I don't really have any space here, but it would still be a good idea, but maybe one day. So I haven't played drums for over 3 months now, but been broadcasting from here on my Facebook Live shows.
This is the Sunday lockdown sessions. I've watched a few of those.
There's Thursday. I've been doing the Thursday one now for 3 years. Well, over 3 years. Ever since Dread Times came out, at the beginning of 2017, I started doing a Facebook Live thing, and it's built up from that. So, and now the Thursday nights are 2 hour sessions instead of an hour and a half. It's from 7 till 9, and then on Sunday from 5 till 7. And last week was quite intense as well because I had to do a set for Glastonbury as well, and then we did the South London Arts Lab organised by youth with the Orb and Spongle and lots of people. I did a DJ set for that. So keeping busy doing lots of DJ sets and sending good music vibes out there. Yeah, but so twice a week, so 4 hours a week, I do that. That kind of, it's okay because I get good inspiration from everybody's feedback. So
I was going to say it must be a good way to kind of connect with your fans and your audience.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really has. You know, when I started doing it, there was so much good vibes about, oh, thank God you're doing this, and it's, you know, it's keeping me sane, and all the comments were so nice that it fills you up with this. I don't know. It really keeps you going, and then so it's kind of like a feedback loop. I start working on music a lot more. So there's a lot of new music that's been written. Something that started a few months ago was I decided to do a lockdown track, and I found some words from our singer that I was able to put together using the word dreadlock and down. So, and it grew from there. And I used some samples from this artist from Canada, Dubmatics. So it's that's coming very soon. I've been playing it. That's the thing. That's a good thing. I've been able to work on the music and then play it on the show so people can hear it right away before it's finished. And Dubmatics have just mixed that. So that's coming soon. So this is not going to be shown yet until July, right?
This is going to be shown on the Saturday, 4th of July.
So, well, by the time that's happened, we would have launched a Bandcamp, which is, you know, we're trying all these different things to keep. Obviously, we've lost all our live shows.
Yeah.
Up until, I don't know, God knows when. So we've been doing lots of things like having a merchandise sale, and we've started up a Bandcamp. So we're going to put a special couple of releases up there, and the first one is going to be the Dread Lockdown track. And we're reissuing one of our most popular albums that's very hard to get. So we're using that as a way of, like, because Bandcamp is a lot of people use Bandcamp, so we don't have to go through the whole like vinyl and CD and cutting and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's a much more immediate thing. So that's one of the good things we're doing. So by the time people see this, the Bandcamp, Dreadzone's Dubwiser's Bandcamp will be up there.
Cool.
I think you need what I've got here. I've got a nice big fan blowing on me.
Oh, I've got a beer, but that's about it, and I'm sweating my kahunas off at the minute.
I've got a coffee.
So can I take you back to the very, very start of Dreadzone then? How did the band come about? Was it sort of brought out of your Big Audio Dynamite days, or?
Yes, well, we were under the Big Audio Dynamite in the 80s, and then me and Don Letts and Leo left and formed a band called Screaming Target, signed to Island, did one album, and then we got dropped. So I kind of sat at home just like messing around with music, and got to know Tim Brand, who mixed the track for Screaming Target, and became like a really close friend. He moved from Guernsey, so we became really good friends, and then we just started this project together, and we signed to Creation and made the first album 360 and put it out in 1993. So from then on, Leo, who I was in BAD with, and Dan Donovan kind of joined, and then we started taking it live. So, and it grew from there really. I mean, yeah, me and Leo kind of carried the rhythm section on from Big Audio Dynamite into Dreadzone. And then after that, we got signed to a major label in the mid-90s. We had Second Light. It's the stained glass from the cover there. And and then we had a bit of a major label thing, and then got dropped towards the end of the 90s, set up a club night called Dubwiser, and then recorded our fourth album, Sound. And just been going ever since, really, just reinventing ourselves, new members coming and going. You know, I was 16 joining, and then Speed joining around about the time of Sound, up until the point where we started our own label 10 years ago, Dubwiser, and put out Eye on the Horizon And then the BAD reunion happened in 2011, which sparked off the next album, which was Escapade, which was recorded in Mick Jones's studio, because Mick, you know, we could have made a BAD comeback album, but we didn't. He decided not to. So, and then Dread Times in 2017 we released, and that brings us up to date. And we've got Dubweiser Volume 1. So, you know, all in all, 8 artist albums and compilations, and got a little sort of nice thing going, really. Sorry, was that all that?
No, it's perfect. I mean,
Okay.
I did a little bit of sort of research before coming on. So American Dread, something like 1.9 million streams so far, and obviously, you know, everyone remembers Little Britain from back in the day. One thing I wanted to ask you, I read somewhere on Wikipedia or something like that, and you can never entirely trust it. You did something like 6 John Peel sessions, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit, with it being sort of Glastonbury weekend coming up now as we're doing this. What was he like as a guy, and did he have a big influence on you, and did he help you guys out?
Yeah, I would say he did help us out, and he was lovely. The very first Glastonbury we did was in 1994, and we got to open the Pyramid stage at 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was there. He was the DJ on the Pyramid stage, and he witnessed us, and he came up to us after and said, "Oh, that's great. I really love what you're doing, and you want to come in and do a radio session for him." So we did that, and then second night, he said that it was one of his favourite albums. So he was very supportive. We did two John Peel sessions where we recorded completely new tracks. Because when you asked to do a John Peel session, you don't just go. Because when we were first asked, actually, there was only me and Tim back in the day. That was before the Glastonbury thing. So we wrote 3 new tracks specifically for that. And then when we got asked to do the live one, when the 4 of us after the Glastonbury show, we wrote 3 new tracks for that. So, you know, when John Peel asks you to do something, don't just do something off your album.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, and then we did another live one in 2002. And yeah, always a good relationship with him. And yeah, very supportive, lovely guy, and will be greatly missed, obviously. So that was a good part. But meeting him at Glastonbury at Pyramid stage kind of kicked it all off.
60 hole in the dead man chest. Babylon take a hand off the gun. Kill a man, don't lay down for rest. Them a look for retribution.
Oh, rude boy, don't take your gun to town. Or you, boy, you will get shot down. Oh, rude boy, don't take your gun to town. Or you, boy, you will get shot down. Don't take your guns to town. Why don't you put it down? Don't take your guns to town. Why won't you put it down?
Understand, when the Babylon have a gun in his hand, please state that the council to England. Wait till you get catch with your contraband before they nick you or lick you or stick you in the cell. Gonna use a CS scans just for the L. See if it works as well as they say. There's no getting away from the hot pepper spray. Stick to that. So be prepared for the night when the Babylon will catch you unaware. He will cover back up but there's nobody there. He's so afraid that it's only really you and him there. Pop, pop, you hear the sound and then it make you drop. You never knowing if it was a cup and make your heart stop. Pop, pop, you hear that sound again. But there are 16 holes in your foe or your friend. Babylon take a hand off the gun. Kill a man, no lay down for rest.
take your gun to town. Oh, rude boy, don't take your gun to town. You will get shot down.
I mean, how have you found that your sort of fans have evolved with you over the years, and that, you know, what are your influences as well as a band? Because I mean, I listen to the stuff, and I hear a bit of Lee Scratch Perry, and you know, there's all so many different. I don't know whether you call it a fusion or what.
And it is a fusion. We come from Big Audio Dynamite, so we, you know, first of all, I'm a drummer, and we're musicians to start with. So when the whole dance culture thing, a lot DJ led, so we were able to start a band coming out of that. Influences just right across the board, really. You know, I think when we started Dreadzone, something like the Orb was a very big influence, and we were lucky enough to do our second only gig was a gig with the Orb in Copenhagen at this thing called the Trakene Festival, which is quite a remarkable show because it had the Orb. It was on a floating stage a mile out to sea in Copenhagen Harbour, and there was the Orb at sunset, and then us and System 7, Darren Emerson, Paul Daly, and then the Orb at sunrise.
Why?
It was just magical, and that was our second only gig. So,
what crowd on the beach?
No, it wasn't on the beach. The crowd, basically, it was an old war fortress, like a horseshoe shape, with a floating stage in the middle. So,
wow.
And it was a mile out to sea in Copenhagen Harbour. There's video of that up on my Facebook. So that was really kind of mad. So I'd say the Orb were a big influence, and dub reggae, obviously. And our relationship with our fans has built over the years, obviously from the live thing. People come along, and we, aside from the Dreadzone Facebook, there's a Facebook group called the House of Dread, which are the kind of hardcore fans, and they interact. And a lot of people have made good friendships from just being in our show, being at our shows and meeting up and sharing common things. And so, our fans are great. And, I speak to a load of them every week on Thursday and on Sunday. They log in for the music. I play a lot of Dreadzone, a lot of L16, a lot of Professor Skank, who works with us, dub, all kinds of things. And as the Facebook Live show has gone on, I get muted less and less because, you know, that's one of the big problems of playing music on Facebook is the copyright. But I work on music, and I've been kind of staying sane. I know you're not asking these questions. I'm just rambling anyway.
Brilliant.
But lockdown, I've kind of stayed sane because a few things. Maybe I don't drink that much. It was my birthday a few weeks ago, and I had a couple of bottles of wine. But I've got a few years ago, I was diagnosed with COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. But it's more like a mild asthma. You know, the last time I went to the hospital, they were like, it's the mildest form of COPD. So I just say it's like asthma. So I've had to isolate myself here a lot, you know, so I'm very wary. I didn't go to a supermarket for 2 months. I've got nice local shops here. And I don't drink the wine because it aggravates the asthma. So that kind of keeps me on a level. I feel that if I had been drinking, I think that's one of the things a lot of people probably been doing, and they probably regret doing that. It's like drinking a lot during lockdown. So we're working on music, going for walks every day, getting a good night's sleep, staying positive. As soon as it all started, I just hadn't. The other day I turned the telly on and there was dust on my remote. I just haven't watched any telly. I might watch some films on iPlayer or something, but I've stayed away from you know. I've tried to have a Zen-like approach to lockdown, and there are times when the isolation kind of gets to you. You start to feel a bit like going a bit crazy, that you need some human contact and to get out there. So obviously I've seen a couple of people, but you know, I'm used to going out on the road with a bunch of guys every week and playing to loads of people. So that's the only thing that's really kind of taking its toll, is just not having. It dawned on me last week when I was I had a little bit too much oil, and I was like, I'm going insane here. I really need to like have some human contact. So, but it's all positive, you know.
One of the themes that we've been trying to carry through all of the interviews we've been doing was top 5 bands that you would have at a festival if you were running. So you've got an unlimited budget. They can be dead, alive. Who'd be in your lineup?
The Prodigy, The Who, Led Zeppelin, obviously, Dread Zone, and Big Audio Dynamite. Maybe get them back together and.
So you want in on the action?
Yeah. No, that's 2 of my bands there. Okay, let's forget that. Prince, obviously.
That's good. Yeah.
Prince, Led Zeppelin, The Who, The Prodigy, and the Rolling Stones. Because I saw the Stones at Glastonbury. I was digging through some pictures the other day, and I saw the Stones at Glastonbury. I waited by the stage in the Pyramid by the mixing desk with my dear departed friend Loki Dredd, and it was really memorable. So that was a top Glastonbury moment. You know, I mean, the Prodigy at Glastonbury is just always just the best rocking. It's in one way or another. I've very rarely missed the Glastonbury since '94. '95 was great for us because we had Second Night Out and we were on the Enemy stage, or the other stage it's called. And then
that's the one directly behind the Pyramid stage, yeah?
Yeah. It's the other stage. It was the Enemy stage then. And then we did the dance tent. That was back in the day when they just had one dance tent. Then it became 2 dance tents, and then a dance area. And so every year we've been back. Even that year, '98, I think I was DJing backstage. And it was just, I remember some really wet years, and being with different female partners. And then I was looking at some pictures earlier where I shared a caravan in 2016 when it was really rainy with my 2 sons, and both grown sons, and it was just like, oh God. Like hairy asses in your face, like. So it was like the year previously going with a nice young lady, and then I'm sharing a caravan with 2 grown boys. But every year positive, and it's very sad that this year, being the 50th anniversary, we would have been playing. I've no doubt we were talking about it, and then. I hope they don't say that this is the 50th year, hooray, congratulations. They should keep it next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this is, as much as it's nice to do all these online DJ things, you just like,
not the same. No.
Doesn't match.
So we're going to do a few quick fire questions, if that's all right, just to finish off. So what would it be, glamping or camping?
Glamping, I don't know if you can. I don't really do tents. I've done them before, and then I'm always too wasted on the Sunday to try and sort of like get it together to put. There's a funny video on YouTube. They're called Dread Zone versus the pop-up tent.
Is this trying to get it back into the bag?
Yeah, it's so because it's a pop-up tent, and then it's like there's for about 10 minutes. There's 3 of us like. I would say a caravan is glamping.
Yep.
So I like, I like my hotel. I'm over 60, for God's sake. I don't do the, I'm not a young guy who just goes along with the. I'm used to certain things, and sorry, that wasn't really a quick fire answer to a quick fire question. Caravan.
Digital or vinyl?
Both. I've got my Facebook Live setup has got 2 decks, USB and CD. So I've covered everything. So I love vinyl, but I'm not a bore saying like, because I used to, as a DJ, I used to carry records all over the place, and it was just, I'm so much happier just traveling now with a USB, stick it in the Pioneer, and away you go. So at the moment, that's really hard. That's a difficult question. Both.
Both. One of the themes we were having for our Friday night, we were going to do Blur and Oasis tribute. So I could say Blur or Oasis. So
that's easy.
Go for it.
Blur.
Blur.
Yeah, because look, compare their history and songwriting.
Mate, I'm with you all the way on that.
No, because Damon is, he went on to do the Gorillaz, and if you listen to, they stand the test of time. Now, I'm not dissing Oasis. We did the Nebworth and Loch Lomond shows, and Champagne Supernova, good, but it's all too, of that time, very cokey, very alcohol, and very, lads music, and quite simplistic songwriting. So that's probably going to upset a few people, and I know they connect with a lot of people. So, but Blur.
Okay.
Or Coldplay.
Well, Greg, thanks ever so much for joining us. Thanks for your time, and have a good rest of the afternoon. I'm going to go and lie in a cold bath or something.
Yeah. Cheers.
Take care, and hope to see you next summer.
Yes. Thanks.
And our next track comes from Hip Root, who played at the festival last year on the main stage. This video is called Shout Out, and it features Gary Stringer from the band Reef.
Yeah.
So many taken too soon. Now you've got broken wings when once you flew. Look to the sky, the moon fall. See a star make a wish. Wonder if they hear your call. Shout out if you're feeling good. Yeah, 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 rock and roll, forever free to roam. Always be a distant shimmering light. The starman has gone home. Are these few? There may be no more, but still bring a smile when you come knocking on my door. Shout out if you're feeling good. Yeah, shout out if you're feeling good. Yeah, shout out if you're feeling good. Yeah, shout out if you're feeling good. Yeah. Easy to say but not do, just a given fact. If we get lost in love, there may be no coming back. So join me
tickets back on sale?
They are on sale now.
That doesn't look rehearsed at all.
Sorry?
That doesn't look rehearsed at all. Like, but it doesn't look rehearsed. They're on now.
Tickets are back.
In all fairness, right? And I'll cut over you. And I'm sorry, but just remind me. They sold out last year, correct?
They sold out pretty quickly, and there was a bit of a frantic rush. So.
And that's even for people who live in Minety were told that they could not get tickets. And there was a lot of underhand bartering that was going on. There was a whole new black market.
It was
started up in Minety.
Mate, I've got to say that was actually one of the funniest moments of Minety last year. Was that basically we announced that tickets are sold out because we don't know. I mean, we have to allow a certain amount of leeway. You know, we have to kind of guesstimate how many bands are going to be there and who's going to be there at what given point in time, and then we've got all the stall holders, the crew. So it's very difficult when you're trying to organise it. You're kind of a little bit having a guess as to how many people you think there's going to be, and we have to kind of do a best guess estimate. So we were pretty much bang on.
And I have seen a barter taking place on the other side of Minety. 2 tickets for, I think there were 3 chickens, a couple of tomatoes. I think a cow was thrown in there as well. Now it's become hot property to actually have a ticket. And I think everybody was stunned that it sold out because everyone's like, "Oh, I live in Minety. Oh, I live in Minety. Oh, I could go. I could just literally hop on a spiel." But they don't realise the security involved, the tightness of who can get in and who can't get in, and that security wrap that goes around the event means that people just can't stroll in to the event and stroll out. It's absolutely locked down. If you haven't got a ticket, you don't get in. Period. And that's even to locals in Minety. So when cows were traded, it was out of desperation to actually get the event. The other thing I really like now as a kind of compare, you kind of, to be honest, right? I've never done comparing in my life. I've kind of stood there and talks rubbish like in front of people, and I get called out on it a lot. And some people think it's funny, some people think it's boring. Or whatever. At the end of the day, I don't care. I'm not being paid, so I'm not being judged, right? But what I really like is during the event, I try and do a call out to try and find out who's travelled the furthest to get to the event, right? And I think last year we had somebody who came down from it was a wedding anniversary from. It was Aberystwyth, and there was Anglesey. Somebody come all the way down from Anglesey to Minety Music Festival and camped for 3 days, and I thought that was brilliant. But my absolute, I absolutely love the guy as well, and I always make a habit. I've gone out every year. I've literally bought a pint at the bar and walked him over and bought a pint. And he's the guy who comes from Exeter. With all his family, he came with his, I think, with his wife in the wheelchair.
You're talking about
year.
Nigel.
Nigel. Right, and this, was it last year? He brought about 8 of his family.
Nigel came up the first year, and the next year more people came up, and the next year more people came up, and I think we've basically got the festival is now everyone that Nigel knows. So. Thanks, Nigel. Thanks for the business.
Desire rising nights, but you will finish us. I won't be coming to this place. I've been looking. 40 out of free, I'm confusing. I'm in the wild, but not bewildered. I see you here, don't disappear. As I revise the nights, she will finish eyes. Come back to this place again. I still find hard to see the infection you have for free. I'm knocking on doors for you. What for? But I don't mind. I'm doing alright. Baby, it's the last time. Still in denial that I'm leading. Still in denial that I'm bleeding. Still in denial that I'm leading. Still in denial that you're bleeding. Your illusions got me looking. 40 out of free, I'm confusing.
And that was Enter Red. So we're joined now by the tribe, AJ and Ant. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Very good, thank you, sir.
All good, all good.
So how's it been going? Obviously, we spoke briefly before we came on. You had a pretty big summer lined up, didn't you?
Yeah, it was looking good. We had loads of festivals this year, which we was really excited about. Obviously, is excited as well about Minety Festival. Amongst some others, we played at Boomtown Festival. We had a main stage slot at NAS Festival. Kendall Calling on the Chihuahua stage. Glastonbury. Yeah, there was quite a few festivals really. It was looking to be a really busy summer. But hey ho, we can't be too disappointed. I mean, everyone's been affected by this thing. So yeah, we'll have to make up for it next year.
So Ant, you've been kind of keeping yourselves busy, and you've been buying some new toys, haven't you?
Yeah, I've blown my life savings. So
all £4 of it.
All £4, yeah. Now I've taken an interest in calling myself a producer. So yeah, basically over the last it's actually since probably about Christmas we've been doing it, but yeah, me and AJ are, I think 8-9 tracks into an album now, which we've produced ourselves, and it's sounding great. It's sounding really, really cool.
So you've been keeping fairly busy with that through the shutdown. How have you managed as a band in terms of the tribe? Have you managed to kind of get together and actually play, or have you kind of been just focusing on the side project?
Well, we haven't actually managed to get in a room for various reasons. However, we did have, just before this whole lockdown pandemic malarkey we did manage to get into the studio, so we had a couple of tracks. Elephant in the Room was one of them, and what was the other song, Ant? There was another one.
We've done Elephant in the Room. We've just released Travelling Man and Friend Zone. There is another one. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, we've got some fresh recordings.
And we've basically been spending time mixing those tracks, and yeah, we've basically been spending time mixing them. We just need to get in now and record the vocals, which we'll do soon, and then they'll be set for release really. And these are all going to be off like our next album. So we've already recorded one album, and these kind of tracks are all going to kind of be on the next album really.
So on it being Fizz in My Soda.
Fizz in My Soda, yes.
So
that's with the F.
So tell us a bit about the tribe and sort of how you guys got together and a bit of history.
You go.
Yeah.
You go, boss.
Yeah, probably about 10 years ago, I found myself kind of playing music which wasn't really me, I guess. And I always had this big vision of starting a hip hop band. And I was moving back from a city where I moved to do some music, and I went on the search for rappers, and I came across AJ, who was locally at the time. He was, much better than anybody else I'd heard. So I sent him a message, and at the time he was somewhere in Australia doing whatever you do in Australia, because I've never been there. And yeah, when he came back, we decided to kind of get a band together, and it was really easy to get it started because obviously AJ had all his albums he had previously recorded, so we kind of got together and jammed those out and kind of did a live version of them. They'd all been kind of done by hip hop producers, so it was predominantly kind of drums, bass, and pianos and things. So yeah, that got us kicked off. Over time, we've kind of morphed into the tribe. I think the iconic kind of moments.
Really.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a couple of moments where things started kind of picking up. I mean, we did we were playing AJ's albums for a couple of years, and then I moved into AJ's house, and we just started staying up until 3-4 in the morning, sometimes later, writing songs on the acoustic guitar.
Did you ever kind of have the thing where you've had too much to drink and And when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're absolutely hammered, it sounds amazing. And you wake up the next morning and it sounds awful.
I thought you was gonna say, did you ever have the moment where you have too much to drink and then just start like spilling stuff like everywhere? It's like, yeah, all the time.
Well, me and AJ don't really do that. Like, AJ ain't really a drinker, and nor am I. And it was just pure. Like we used to say, we've both got like what's it called, ADHD.
Just bouncing off the walls. To be fair, the very first track we ever wrote, especially for the Tribe, was we actually wrote that. I think we finished at like 6 o'clock in the morning. We was on the acoustic guitar in the living room, and we'd just been writing it. It was Footprints in the Sand, and we come up with the hook, and that was the first actual Tribe song that we wrote, and that was when we lived together. So it was actually a really productive time because we was just obviously just always in and always like up for making music and stuff like that. So
we found a bit of a rhythm, didn't we? I guess bit of a this is how it should go sort of thing.
And then when we found Kirsty, it kind of brought a whole new element to it, really, which was good. She just had that she could sing a really catchy chorus, which was good.
She's just got a lot of energy, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Like, she's a great singer, and she's just like, she's happy to jump up. Do you know what I mean?
Bad energy, yeah.
Nice little segue into that then.
But I've got, my legs are fucked. So it stopped.
Don't turn your back on what you started. Don't ever feel you're uninvited, yeah. The skank has skanked the ravers party. The Tribe is here, let's start an army.
I got more trees in my palm, the palm trees in Bahamas. Let the tongue slip, make the crowd go bananas. Ain't a mannequin that don't care about fashion. In a house party, I wear my pajamas. My art teacher, he told me off when I would verbally paint a picture of Van Gogh. I'm my own boss, have days off whenever I paid off and never knew life would get better. Only spend a tenner whenever I go anywhere. Spend the money on traveling, ain't got a penny spare. Oh yeah, me going here and there, another runway, aeroplane up in the air. Happy Monday, someday we will care. Till then, keep living with no regret. Stop seeing that life's unfair. Gotta go get it even whenever you're having a mare.
Don't turn your back on what you started. Don't ever feel you're uninvited, yeah. The skank has skanked the ravers party. The Tribe is here, let's start an army, yeah.
Looking out the window and the weather is bleak. You could go on holiday any day of the week. You gotta follow your heart and think with your feet. Break down them barriers, the people to meet. Taxman's got his fingertips up in the till. Oh yeah, I gotta pay them bills. When all I wanna do is get out mountains and trek up hills. Lay on the beach, eat apples, cause that is real. I wanna feel like I'm living on a minimum wage and not winning with no women. Hard woman, but I keep grinning because I got the mindset to keep singing. Keep your chin up, never give up. Find reason with the man in the mirror. Drink liquor, but not too much about it. You live a better, let the wife know that you're not home for dinner.
Don't turn your back on what you started. Don't ever feel you're uninvited, yeah. The skank has skanked the ravers party. The Tribe is here, let's start an army, yeah. In the future I'll be saying where's the past gonna, won't let the fat man sing until the last song. His song's only as good as the chorus, so don't let your ego tell you it ain't enormous. Did atmosphere with the coroner's tax-free spirit flew away with the foreigners. Bob Marley's gone, but we're so jamming.
The planet ain't ready for the parties that we're planning.
I stopped smoking, but I'm still coughing. So underground, I get the dozen in the coffin. Ha!
Ragamuffin, ragga on a regular. Makes me wanna start puffing, but I grab a muffin.
And a coffee, nobody can stop me. Caffeine music go fast, the cameras can't clock me.
I manage the team and I won't drop me. I go to London, come back, speaking cockney. Hey!
Don't turn your back on what you started. Don't ever feel you're uninvited, yeah. The skank has skanked the ravers party. The Tribe is here, let's start an army, yeah.
Put 'em up, put 'em up. Put 'em up, put 'em up. Hey! Put 'em up, put 'em up. Woo! Put 'em up, put 'em up. Hey! Put 'em up, put 'em up. Ha! Put 'em up, put 'em up. Hey! Put 'em up, put 'em up.
Welcome back, guys. Tell us about your top 5 Festival Fantasy League bands, I guess. If money was no object, dead or alive, who would you have in your festival lineup?
I'd have Michael Jackson, just because he's a bad man. Erykah Badu. I fully rate Erykah Badu. James Hersey. He's a singer-songwriter. Really rate him. And actually, Matterfix. I don't even think they write. Marlon Roudette, actually, he's gone off on solo. But Matterfix, they did a few albums, like, sort of, probably about 20 years ago. But, yeah, I really rate them, Matterfix. And then it'd have to be Sizzler, who's one of my favourite artists, who's a reggae artist. So, yeah, that would be my top 5. Quite an expensive lineup, though.
Money's no object.
Money's no object. Or, yeah. But that would be it for me.
Okay, Ant?
Nice. All right, I reckon James Brown. Right, James Brown's got to be the headliner, and Jamiroquai. I've seen Jamiroquai before, and it was great. I'd love to see Jamiroquai in a more intimate atmosphere. So I went and watched him at an arena a few times, and it's great. But I'd love to see him in a small room. I think it'd be phenomenal. Jill Scott as well, somebody I've always wanted to see. Big influence on me personally, musically. Red Hot Chili Peppers, just because I've never seen them and I'd love to. And last one. So, right, my favourite band of all time, something which has always influenced everything that I've done, is a group called Tower of Power. Yeah, the exact opposite from Aqua. A group called Tower of Power, who are like I think they're an Oakland-based funk band, who just rhythm section gods. They're amazing.
AJ, I mean, if you could collaborate with anyone as a band with the Tribe, who would it be?
For me, it'd probably be Ocean Wisdom. Just because I suppose for me, he's just up there of what he can do. Like his rap style is just crazy. How many syllables he can get into a verse is next level. So yeah, Ocean Wisdom for me.
All right, I'm going to change it up. Tower of Power, I'd say, because they're essentially built up off of a really big brass section. So I think it would be a super cool element to our show.
Okay, that's different. We were chatting before, and you were talking about one of the symphony orchestras, weren't you?
BBC Symphony Orchestra is what I said before, but then I've realised that Tower of Power are much cooler.
So we're going to play another one of your songs now.
I'm not gigging now. It's what I do to...
Over religion, but just believe and feel the pain for other people and bleeding. So don't believe in all the newspapers you're reading, where a captive audience and eating whatever they're feeding. Subconsciously affecting however we're feeding, looking at the bourgeoisie through the glass ceiling. Ask yourself, are you awake or walking around sleeping, getting stressed out because you're 5 minutes late for a meeting? Stop for a minute, be thankful for the air you're breathing. Looking at the bigger picture, there's no significant meaning. Mass producing animals to eat, making a man turn vegan. I've seen videos on Facebook that have left me heaving, seeking freedom. They say we're free, but we don't believe them. Don't even know what's in the food we're eating. How can we be free when they're too busy policing? Rest the petty criminals for really no reason, but go!
This is realize to give love like you're never gonna give it again. Oh, this is our time.
So hold up your hands and you're feeling alive.
We can make a change with the power of now. Believe in yourself, you will find a way out. This is realize.
So hold up your hands and you're feeling alive.
Hey, all we do is just take in this big wide world. You would easily break to give a little bit more. And I
get your vision. Propaganda will keep you in prison. Really doesn't take a mathematician to work out something is definitely missing. Gotta stick to the mission. Make the people that listen. We gotta think different. When I tell you it is when it isn't. Make an example for the kids because they don't know any different. No equivalent to this. Next generation is so important. Technological devices trying to morph them. Force feeding us into believing that the material stuff. Adverts ram down the neck until we're about to bust. We all believe in materialism, thinking it's really important when really it isn't. We gotta look after the planet's not damaging the solar system. Please tell a friend because nobody seems to listen. No barriers now, sex, skin, color, or religion. Everybody come together now and let's share this rhythm.
This is real life to give love like you're never gonna give it again. Oh, this is our time.
So hold up your hands and you're feeling alive.
We can make a change with the power of now. Believe in yourself, you will find a way out. This is real life.
So hold up your hands and you're feeling alive.
Hey, all we do is just take in this big wide world. You would easily break to give a little bit more and appreciate. All we do is just take in this big wide world. You would easily break to give a little bit more and appreciate. Renewable energy, gotta look after the planet. It's a beautiful thing, can't damage it, it would be tragic. Getting kinda manic, we gotta act quick before it all sinks like the Titanic. I'm feeling sick.
And when we form a revolution. Identify the problem and find a solution. Instigating in the middle of the institution. Open up your eyes, you can see it's just an illusion.
Programming ready for the next intrusion.
Don't believe the intelligence, avoid the confusion. It's crucial, we stay conscious, move forward with the movement. Oh, here's a tribal revolution. Hey, hold tight, all of my people out there listening. Right up against the struggle, we're never giving in. A tribal wave, and we're live upon the mission here. We come and bring the positive vibes and then we disappear.
Okay, welcome back, guys. So we're going to do a few quick fire questions just to finish off. Showers or roughing it?
Showers all day long. And hotel rooms, hopefully.
The finer things in life again.
I did that in Glastonbury last year. We managed to get some passes last year to so that we could go off site during Glastonbury last year. And we got hotels, which was quite nice. So we stayed for the 5 days. Had to wait until 11 o'clock at night to get off site. And then we were allowed back in any time up. No, it wasn't 11 o'clock at night. It was 2 a.m. So we had to wait until 2 a.m. to get off site. And then we had to come back by 10 a.m. So we had these amazing, beautiful Airbnb type hotels. And we only managed to stay in them for about 4 hours at a time.
Beer or cider?
Cider.
Cider.
2 ciders. Blur or Oasis? Friday night is going to be Blur and Oasis on Minety next year.
I'll go Oasis.
I'm going to go Blur because I like cheese.
So who would win in a fight then? Brittany or Florence?
Does Florence have the machine?
Gone.
You decide.
I reckon Brittany's got it.
With the skinhead.
With the skinhead.
Hard as nails,
and
mate.
a pint.
Yeah, she's got it.
I think you're probably right.
Digital or vinyl?
Vinyl.
Vinyl.
Or tape, like it was in my day. Tape. I was a tape pack boy. I used to record all the get all the tape packs, all the drum and bass tape packs. That was me.
Play and record on the machine.
Yes, did used to do that actually. Trying to get at the beginning of the song.
So you're trying to stop the recording before the DJ starts talking.
Yeah, you know it. So there'll be some kids out there going, "What?
What?
I do like that, actually. If there's a tape, it's like saying, do you actually know what this is? I did ask a little one. I said, do you know what this is? They went, yeah, you put that in and it plays video. No, mate. No, that's audio. That is. But, no, definitely vinyl. I just think people cherish sort of a physical copy way more than digital. Although digital, you can reach the masses easier. I just think if people have got a physical copy of something, I think they care about it more, if you know what I mean. It means more to them.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys then after this is all over and we're allowed to go and hang out again together?
I'm gonna take a few more weeks off work, I think. Need a holiday.
You've not had enough.
This is a man who has, I don't know how many, he works less than everybody I know and he has more holidays than everybody I know. I don't know how he does it. It's a beautiful thing.
But no, I think I'm really looking forward to being able to get in, even though we've been doing music and we've been doing sessions like remotely from our own studios and stuff. I think actually getting in a room, getting back on a stage, that really is going to be exciting, to be fair. So I think, just getting together really in larger numbers.
Do you know what? It's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously for bands like us, we probably kind of do a rehearsal once a week sort of thing, and you get to a point where you've got your set and you kind of, I wouldn't say take it for granted, but
it's second nature, isn't it? Once it gets to that point, it's good to miss
it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this, and a couple of the other people we've spoken to. I think everyone's under the same impression that I think it's going to take a good couple of months for everyone to kind of get match fit and get back into their groove, you know, to go out and play live. So I think, you know, some of the gigs when they start get back, you're gonna see some ropey performances around, I think.
Yeah, it does take a while. We've always said that, actually. It's like the first couple of festivals in the festival season. You know, by the end of it, it's like a well-oiled machine. Once you start playing every week or doing a couple of shows a week and stuff, you really get in the swing of it. So yeah, I agree. I think it's going to take. I don't even know if I can remember all my lyrics. To be fair, it's going to take a little while to go. We're going to have to go through some songs and a few times just to get back in the swing of it. Definitely,
it's going to be good though, isn't it? Feel that weight of a band.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, listen, guys, thanks ever so much for coming on, and have a great rest of your summer.
Thanks for having us, and we look forward to next year.
And we're going to listen to another song by Arcadia Roots, Lose My Mind. Awesome. What a track. Lose My Mind by Arcadia Roots. Thank you.
So 10th Electric initially played for us on the Minety stage in 2018. They impressed everyone so much that we invited them back in 2019 to play the main stage. And here they are.
Everything you want me to be, everything you want me to see, is everything that I want for you, want for me. I'm never gonna let you go, the only way we could grow. I swear I'd give it all for you, oh heaven knows I'll try. Every time you walk along, I can see you right next to me, next to me, oh. Heaven knows I've tried. Blue sky whispers, it's time you walk alone. Yeah, heaven knows. Oh, would you call me? I'm going through hell, high water to be with you. Yeah, yeah, oh. I'm gonna find you. Wherever you go, I wanna be there with you. Although my love was always so neat, everything I thought was complete is now undone and never ending. I never knew the darkness you'd bring. You're like a kitten with a ball of string, and I'm unraveling, floundering. Heaven knows I've tried. Every time you walk alone, I can see you there next to me, next to me. Oh, heaven knows I've tried. But the blue sky whispers, it's time you walk alone. Yeah, heaven knows. Oh, would you call me? I'm going through hell, high water to be with you. Yeah, yeah, oh. I'm gonna find you. Wherever you go, I wanna be there with you. We gonna run, no, whoa, never gonna let go. You know where to find us, whoa, never gonna let go. We ain't gonna run, no, whoa, never gonna let go. You know where to find us, whoa, never gonna let go. Come on! Would you call me? I'm going through hell, high water to be with you. Yeah, yeah, oh. I'm gonna find you. Wherever you go, I wanna be there with you. Yeah, yeah, oh. I'm gonna find you. Wherever you go, I wanna be there with you. Yeah, yeah, oh.
Do you need to do pop-up tents?
I was just going to.
You've got to think about pop-up tents. Is there a moment in your childhood that brought back memories of a pop-up tent, which is why you want to start sharing stories of a pop-up tent?
Mate, I promise you, in my childhood, we never had pop-up tents. Pop-up tents are a kind of a new thing, and I think I don't know whether it was included in the interview or not, but I know Greg from Dreadzone chatted about pop-up tents, and there's a great story that he told me either on or offline, and I'm not sure if I'm meant to elaborate on that, but it's basically you do a festival with a pop-up tent. You pull it out of the bag, and it's a tent already. When you've had a weekend of beer and cider and wine and God knows what else to drink, and then you try and put the thing back in the tent after, Is
it a Frank Spencer moment? You know Frank Spencer?
Yes.
You know Frank Spencer?
Yes.
I am not feeling old, thank God. Yes.
You should be.
Where he's kind of wrapping everything up and he's kind of like trying to shove it in. And he's kind of like arms are twisting, like all different places. He's trying to fold it in, trying to get it in a bag.
Mate, it's a military operation, and it takes many sober people. And usually by the time you get to the end of a festival, there's not many sober people around.
And we may veer. Do you get teepee pop-up tents? Like, have you seen those teepee ones?
No.
Now, if they did a teepee pop-up tent, I'd have one of those. Like, they are cool. Anybody who's got a teepee pop-up tent like that, and I've seen them at a couple of festivals, and I go, and there's like tent envy. You know, when you get tent envy, you're like, ooh. It's like the ones with the big, like they stick a big pole outside their tent. It's got a big flag on the top of it. They go, as in the marker, I live here. So I can be anywhere from like a 5-mile radius, and I know where my tent is, like in the theatre or wherever, like a big festival.
Are they the guys that have got the 50-foot flags on a pole?
Yeah.
You know,
those people.
Yeah.
Those people. Yeah. And God knows where they go as well, because I reckon they live with the people with the dreadlocks. Like they disappear for a year.
No, I reckon that the people that do the superior tenting, I think they go back to their 5-bed semi, somewhere in rural England. And
Sorry. Yes, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably got.
Mate, we're going to get absolutely slated for our generalisations.
I was born in Surrey. But when our first child Charlie was born, we went to the where you register the births, and I was born like in Wimbledon, right? And Wimbledon is on the borders of Surrey and Merton. So when so we were working out, and like, she'll never live this down to this day. But we sit there, we were doing the whole where the parents were born, like on the register. I said, oh yeah, where were you born? They said, you were Wimbledon, Merton. I went, no, Wimbledon, Surrey. Because I wanted my son, I wanted to be a posh. With my flagpoles, my flagpoles and my 5-bedroom semi-detached with dreadlocks,
and gold sparkly shorts.
Yes, in Surrey.
That guy. There's a few photos of the guy last year, and I don't know who he is. Unfortunately, I'd love to meet the guy, but he was basically spent the entire weekend in the sunshine with. He wasn't wearing shoes, no shirt, no anything. He just had these gold kind of sparkly shorts that he was wearing all weekend with a kind of a bum bag or something like that.
I've seen him.
Yes.
I think I took a picture of him and I put him on my WhatsApp profile.
So this kind of goes back to the whole dreadlock thing. Well, what does that guy do in his real life? And I've always wondered this: is he a graphic designer? Is he a judge or a lawyer? Or and then
top surgeons and actuaries,
and then you just go to a festival and you let rip. You know, all of your frustrations. And I kind of love that about festivals, actually, because you just kind of you do whatever.
All walks of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter. I love it. Yeah, and here. I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to
that. Yeah, so all walks of life at festivals. Hurrah. And I'm really looking forward to the next track, New York Love Song by the Raving Crows.
was when a dream was dream. Love is meant to bring it close. Separate it seemed, then we climbed through all the stages, travel many miles, say goodbye with bitterness, end our case with smiles. You and I were lovers. You and I were lovers. I believe in you. I believe in you. Assembled it in parts, use it as a weapon that falsify our hearts. And the lie that lies between us is honest as the kiss placed upon my cheek, felt just like a fist. You and I were lovers. You and I were lovers. I believe in you. I believe in you. Boy, yo, yo. Boy, yo, yo. For every door that you slam, I can open two. The power of forgiveness, never lost on you. And when my fears come to visit, I invite them all to stay. We're stronger when I've conquered the ghosts of yesterday. You and I were lovers. You and I were lovers. I believe in you. I believe in you. Oh, yo, yo. Oh, yo, yo.
Thank you, the Roman Coats, for the New York love song. I'm in love, baby. I'm in love. I'm in love.
So we're welcomed now by Dave Sturdy from the Long Players. Welcome, Dave. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks, Rich. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. You're obviously keeping yourself busy. I can see the musical instruments in the background there.
Yeah, just been fiddling with a bit of home recording and stuff like that, you know. And I've done a download song, not download, sorry, a lockdown song. I think most people have, which has been quite good fun. And but yeah, at the moment we're just trying to put together So we decided that, but it looks like we won't be doing a gig again with the Long Players this year. It's very unlikely we'll be getting into a crowded, sweaty room until the new year at the earliest. So what we've decided to do next month, we're going to do Nirvana Unplugged in the Abbey House Gardens. So we're going to do a responsibly distanced gig where, well, I say gig, there'll be no audience, but we're just going to record, just spend all day sort of rehearsing and recording it in amongst the gardens, get sort of, we've got, well, with loads of Long Players singers, so we've got 17 singers, so each will do a main song. And then we're kind of try and keep the band stripped down to just kind of a core acoustic band. But again, even in that, it's sort of like 12, 13 people.
So for those of us watching that have seen you before, we kind of know the deal. Can you explain to everyone else who might not have seen you what it is? What's the concept behind the Long Players? Because you're the man that runs everything.
Yeah. So the Long Players it's a kind of collection of people from around the Malmesbury area, and we've been doing it it's coming on for 10 years. Next year will be our 10th birthday, and we recreate classic albums in their entirety, all the way through. And then now we do a whole load of extra stuff as well, because there's so many of us. But we've taken on things like, so we started with Neil Young, which was sort of relatively straightforward, but we've taken on Sgt. Pepper's. I don't know if you can see that in the background. That's our recreation of Sgt. Pepper's album cover. We've done, we did Amy Winehouse and AC/DC, Back in Black and Back to Black, back to back. We've done, gosh, what else have we done? We've done Z Stardust, we've done Transformer.
At Minety, you did, I think the first year was AC/DC, Amy Winehouse, and then I think you've done REM and Arctic Monkeys.
That's right, yeah. But we try and do 2 or 3 a year, and like I said, they're quite a big undertaking. So the last thing we've just done was Night at the Opera, and so we did the entirety of the Night at the Opera album, and then we did a whole load of Queen's Greatest Hits, and that's what we were going to be doing at Minety this year.
So are you still going to do it next year? That's the question people are asking.
Well, you see, the thing is, all of these things, we do an album, and quite often they're a one-off. Sometimes we do them a couple of times if we do sort of a festival or something like that. But yes, it was so much fun. We might well revive it for next year. So it seems such a shame not to. It's built for festivals, so it would be really good.
Bizarrely, the probably the most requested tribute band that we've had since we obviously had ABBA and Elvis last year. The most requested one we've had was Queen, so that'd be cool.
Yeah. People went nuts for it. I mean, it just went completely crazy, and it's just really good rousing. It's just good fun music, isn't it? So yeah, that was good. So we were just about to do Supergrass as a bit of a contrast, something much more kind of direct, and we were going to do that the week before. It was the weekend of lockdown that we. So we pulled the plug on that about a week or so before, when we sort of saw the writing on the wall, which is a shame because we've got all the badges and album covers done. We've even got T-shirts with our names on it, the Supergrass T-shirts with their names on. So we got those done for all the band, and so we were all ready to go on that. But I don't know when we'll get to do that. But yeah, so in the meantime, we just kind of thought, being as we can't actually do a gig as such, that we'd make a film of doing Unplugged in the Abbey House Gardens. I think it'd be really nice because it'd be quite chilled, and it's such a fantastic album anyway. It's really good fun. So we're going to try and do a sort of socially responsible, given that there are about 45 people in the band. So we've sort of engineered it so nobody will ever be there at the same time. So all the singers will come and go. If there's some BVs, then the singer will hang about and do BVs on the next song and then go. We've even had to think about having so we've got 17 microphones. We've had to sort of everybody dig in and try and find a Shure SM, so everybody's got their own mic, because you don't want sort of COVID spit in your mic, do you? So it should be really nice, a socially distanced gig in the gardens. We're getting it filmed by a couple of local people. Kevin Mullins is going to film it, and also this time we're going to record the music through the desk so we can mix it afterwards and hopefully get a really nice sound on it. So I'm kind of hoping that, and we're going to show that as part of the carnival this year.
Oh,
so that it'll be a sort of watch party on the bank holiday Monday. It's something to do anyway, isn't it? It's just, I think everybody's just trying to find something to keep them a bit sane and keep their sort of projects going, musical projects going. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do.
So how did the long players come about initially then? Because obviously that, it must be like herding cats. I mean, what on earth possessed you to kind of come up with this concept to try and get as many possible musicians to work together?
Yeah, well, that yeah, it is. It's like say don't work with women, not women and children. No,
Let's do that again.
Animals and children. Don't work with that.
Do you want me to cut that? Do you want to do that line again?
No, don't work with animals and children. But actually, no, don't work with a whole load of musicians because my God, it is a nightmare. They're like I should say, they're flaky and it is like herding cats, but it works remarkably well, all things considered. And it started because it was about 10 years ago. I moved to Malmesbury about 14, 15 years ago, and kind of wanted to start a band, but really, the commitment to being in a band the whole time, and then my job wouldn't really let me do it. So I kind of got this idea that what we'd do is we'd just get a whole load of people together one weekend, we'd rehearse an album, and then the following weekend we'd perform it. And then that would be it, we'd do one of those a year or whatever. And it's just really taken off from there. It works really well. And we still do that. We still only rehearse one weekend before we perform. I mean, there's a bit more to it because everybody knows exactly what they're doing. So it's not like we just get in a room and go, right, what we're doing then. Everybody absolutely knows their bits.
So everyone kind of gets their musical parts, or which guitar part you're playing, and you go off and rehearse that for sort of a few weeks beforehand, and then come prepared.
Everybody has it well in advance, so they really, and also bear in mind because it's so many people. So, for example, on this unplugged thing we're just about to do, all the singers have got one song, so they just have to know one song really well. It's not always like that. Sometimes they get a few more, and there's. So really, it's just a matter of all those jigsaw bits coming together on the weekend, and to be honest, we've had the odd disaster, but it's generally speaking, it more than makes up for it. I think the adrenaline in the seat of the pants thing just makes up for the fact that we're a little bit under rehearsed. We're never knowingly over rehearsed is our motto.
So come on then, you got to spill the beans then. Who's the worst for not doing their homework before they arrive?
I can't say that. there are some offenders, definitely. But they always put it out of the bag. So
no, that's good. So we're going to hear one of your songs now. Dave, do you want to tell us a bit about it and introduce it for us?
Yeah. So this song is I'm not sure how familiar you are with Night at the Opera as an album, because everybody knows the big hits off the album. But actually, it's a really eclectic and quite unusual album. And there's a lot of kind of dancehall vaudeville type of things in there, and which were really fun to do. And like I said, they're not the Queen tracks that most people really know. But this particular one is Seaside Rendezvous, and it's a real kind of sort of 19th century vaudeville kind of piece. And it was amazing fun. But particularly the singers on it, I think, are just incredible, because we were lucky enough to have a guy called Alan Hetherington who helped score all the vocal parts. He's one of those musical people that just listens to stuff and just goes and just knows.
Sees the Matrix coming down in front of his eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of like it's so he scored all the harmony parts, and we did actually spend a lot of time this time on getting all the harmonies right. So and I think this just really shows it off. Really, I think the performance is brilliant, and it's one of my favourite of the night. So we'll play that.
Fantastic, say la vie, madame, and what's new? And after
So, Dave, welcome back. So, one of the themes we've been running through the series, as people are probably sick and tired of hearing now, is your top 5 fantasy league bands. So, if you're running a festival, 5 bands that you'd have in your lineup. They can be dead, they can be alive. You could have Mozart fronting Metallica for all I care. But yeah, who'd be in your lineup?
Well, do you know what? There was one year at Glastonbury where I nearly got my Pyramid Stage top 10 lineup, and it started with Supergrass, who have always been brilliant live. Then it was Turin Breaks. Then it was Polyphonic Spree, which are just awesome live, especially on the Pyramid Stage with the sun going down in the background. Then it was my all-time favourite band, which would be the Flaming Lips, which are just the most fantastic live band ever. And finally, Radiohead. So that actually happened, and that was pretty much my fantasy thing. Apart from the only band that, and I hate to say it to Turin Breaks because I love Turin Breaks, but I would probably substitute Turin Breaks for my other all-time favourite band, which is Super Furry Animals. But if I could have Super Furries, Flaming Lips, Radiohead on the same bill with a bit of Supergrass thrown in, and Polyphonic Spree, then I'd be happy. So
that's a good shout. So we're going to do some quick fire questions now, and then we're going to hear another song from you. So first up, camping or glamping?
Can I have my caravan?
You can have a caravan if you like. It's your call.
No, it's got to be camping, hasn't it? It's, got to be camping.
Beer or cider?
Beer.
Blur or Oasis?
Well, it has to be Blur, I think. Much as I love Oasis, but I think Blur always pipped it. They were just the more musically interesting and enduring. I think Oasis were a little bit of a one-trick pony, but it was a very good trick.
And another theme we've been running through the interviews is who wins the fight, and we're not talking musical fight, we're talking actual fist fight. So who wins between AC/DC and Radiohead?
Do you know what? I think Tom York can be a bit feisty because he's quite short, isn't he? And I think he can be a bit punchy, possibly. I don't know.
Bit of wee man syndrome.
Yeah, mind you, I suppose Angus Young's got that as well, hasn't he? So I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what would happen. Do you know what? I think Radiohead would have it, or well, if they hadn't have it, they'd just probably sort of like, I don't know, sort of bore AC/DC into submission or something. And,
Digital or vinyl?
Oh, vinyl every time. I have a big record collection upstairs, so I'm a keen record collector still, and it just is every time. Digital's all right to have on your phone or in the car, but there's nothing like a record.
Would you say that sort of from a recording point of view, you'd still prefer the old school, or have you got used to kind of the creature comforts of modern technology in terms of recording?
Well, from a personal point of view, of course. I mean, I've like I can see you have in the background there a whole load of home studio stuff that you just couldn't, like 10, 15 years ago. There's no way you could afford what we've now got in a little box in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
So from just from a day-to-day point of view, yeah, definitely, it's all about digital, and also it takes the pressure off having to play it right every time. But there is still something, and if you had the money to have, to have a big desk and a big room and all the time to mess about with that, I'm sure analog is still the way to go. But it's not a cheap or easy option. So I love digital because it opens everything up for you, and gives you all that opportunity. So
we're going to listen to another one of your songs now. Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Yeah. Okay. So, the last song was one of the more obscure tracks off A Night at the Opera, and the final track from Night at the Opera is far from obscure, being as it's been #1 for God knows how many weeks, and is obviously Queen's greatest hit. So we're going to play Bohemian Rhapsody.
This is just fantasy.
So that was Long Players with Bohemian Rhapsody, their version of the Queen hit. Dave, thanks ever so much. Have a great rest of your summer, and we hope to see you next year at Minety Fighting Fit.
Yeah, Minety 2020, definitely. We'll be there.
2021.
2021? God, yes. Yeah, what am I on about? Yeah, we'll be there.
Take care, mate.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this next song. Don't Worry by Kitsune Beach.
When you're lying next to me, I see you smile in the corner of my eye. You know just how it makes me feel when I hold your hand and when you grip me tight. You know I love you, baby. It'll be alright. Don't be scared. Don't you cry. Don't be scared. 'Cause I'll be there. And don't be scared. Don't you cry. Don't be scared. Dry your eyes. When we wake under the sun after a night of dreaming underneath the moonlit stars, and I hear your voice calling out my name. If I don't hear it, nothing's gonna be the same. Don't be scared. Don't you cry. Dry your eyes. 'Cause I'll be there. Don't be scared. Don't you cry. I'll be there. Dry your eyes.
And that was Don't Worry by Kitsune Beach. And the next song is I Believe in You by Cobalt Fire from Malmesbury. So Matt, I want to talk about one thing. When you go to a festival, you meet a lot of different people from different walks of life, and I love that. That is part of the cultural difference of being at a festival, I guess. But I've always wondered, where do the guys that have dreadlocks go in the winter? Because you always see these crazy looking guys and they've got massive long dreadlocks in the summer festivals, or you see those crazy guys that have got like glittery shorts and stuff like that, and they're very distinctive at a festival. They kind of stand out, and you sort of think, do they just kind of follow the festival tour around the world? So they'll do like sort of the summer in the UK, and then, you know, the other 6 months they'll do the summer in Australia or something, or live in Goa or something like that.
I don't know where they all go, Rich. They go with like the Headless Horseman, and they go into like mystery books, like which are like talked about for like decades and centuries to come, like Dracula and things like that. I don't know. They pop out once a year or wherever they are. They come there throughout the summer, you know, and then you just don't see them again. I think they kind of lock themselves in a chamber or a giant dungeon and are whipped throughout the whole of. I don't know actually. I don't know where I'm going with that one. No, I have no idea. They're with cow tippers and sheep. I don't know, somewhere.
I might have to cut that bit out. Maybe. Oh, jeez.
But I don't know. And we've got another track for you coming up. It is In Hell.
Tell love couldn't go no further. Proud and disgusted by her. Push up, bruised and battered. Oh Lord, ain't coming home with you. My life's a wee bit colder. Dead wife is what I told her. Brass knife to my shoulder. Oh babe, now what I'm gonna do. See my red hat, mess, bad tears, shed, cream and squeeze. Not a stage, it smells now, mistells, knocks me on my knees. So I heard the blood squad tear out from the tree. Now I'm down in hell to be in good company. Tell love couldn't go no further. Proud and disgusted by her. Push off, bruised and battered. Oh Lord, ain't coming home with you. My life's a wee bit colder. Dead wife is what I told her. Brass knife to my shoulder. Oh babe, now what I'm gonna do. See my red hat, mess, bad tears, shed, cream and squeeze. Not a stage, it smells now, mistells, knocks me on my knees. So we huff up, blood, squad, tears, out from the tree. Now I'm down in hell, I'll be in good company.
And that was In Hell by Splat the Rat.
So listen, should we say farewell to everybody?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much there now. So, yeah, once again, I apologise for my shonky interviewing skills, for the fact that I've been getting more and more drunk as we've been doing this, for the fact, well, there's so many things to apologise for. But we hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's given you a little bit of a flavour for next year. Got to meet some of the bands and listen to some of the music. And until next year, and, you know, again, we'll raise a glass and have a great rest of your evening, weekend. Hope you enjoyed Doctor and the Medics.
Can I say, what you don't talk about is the hours and hours and hours of video footage that we saw of Michael Parkinson and his interviewing skills. I mean, I based all my interviewing on his skills.
Did you?
And I think we did a fantastic job.
I've got to say, it really shone.
And I'll drink to Michael. Thank you, Michael, for giving us the inspiration for
Drink to Michael.
to Michael for giving us the inspiration of knowing how to interview at a credible level. And I hope that everybody who will be watching this, whether they're sitting in their garden, singing at home, or wherever they may be, is enjoying this podcast of Minety Music Festival, because you know, pal, we are going to bring this about next year, and we really hope to see you all there.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm not Michael Parkinson or Chris Moyles, as will have become increasingly apparent throughout the entire day. But we hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully it'll give you a flavour for next year. And we hope to see you there next year, and roll on 2021.
Mighty cheers to 2021.
See you soon.
See you soon.